welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabby Bear, and today I thought we could play a little bit of Sims 4 because I want to start essentially a legacy challenge, or at least the way that I play it is just kind of trying to get as many generations of Sims kind of successful and eventually build into a family empire. And you know, there's gonna be some shenanigans along the way probably. I've already gone ahead and taken the first step and made a sim for this challenge. Her name is Quinn Whitlock, and I was actually already playing with her in my personal save file, but I decided I really wanted to use her for this save file because I liked her traits. She is kind of a mix between a girly girl and also a goth girly. Like, she's still like me, trying to figure out what on earth is her style, where she's going, and what her directions is gonna be. And frankly, I think that's a good start for a legacy challenge. So Quinn is a love bug, an idealist, and she's morbid, which kind of tracks with me. She's like a mini me, but like pretty. So anyway, I thought the first thing we could do today is build a starter home for her. I gave her 20,000 simoleons, and I have her set up next to, I believe that's the Pancakes house, just in Willows Creek, and I thought we could get started. Now, we see every other house on this street, except for this one, are like 2 stories, but I think because this one in the front is 1 story, I think we could get away with making this 1 story, which would certainly help with the price situation. First, we have to decide on what our layout's gonna be. I think I prefer kitchens being kind of in the back. I know sometimes they're like in the middle or in the front. I prefer like a kitchen in the back, and maybe we could put the master bedroom like off to the side there. And a 3x3 bathroom is gonna be probably a pretty solid size. You know what we could do is just expand and make that like a kitchen and living, and that might be our layout for the moment. You know what I might do is expand the bathroom just to make the roof line a little bit easier to deal with. Now, most of these houses have gabled roofs, so I think we're gonna go with that and have them meld into each other. Do like a funky roof line like that. I think that would work. The real question is, are we gonna have a porch or not? Well, we've already spent about 3,500 simoleons, so maybe we should hold off on making a decision about a porch. Each of these houses are a little bit different, so I think I want to go with maybe just a simple black. You know what color we don't have on this street is green, so maybe we could find some green siding. I kind of like the mix of colors in Horse Ranch, but it doesn't quite match the vibes. Now, I have complex feelings about the auto columns that the base game roofs kind of give you, but I think it actually kind of looks good for this one, so we'll go with that, and that saves me from having to spend on columns. I think I want the entryway to be here, to be kind of like off to the side and you like kind of walk up, you know? And that way we can have some nice big windows up front. Let's try to find a cheaper door. I do like this door. This might be a solid door to start with. Oh no. All of the exterior doors are so pricey. Oh well, no, you know what? This one's pretty cheap. I don't know how I feel about that door, but a lot of the exterior doors are pretty pricey, and I like that this one has some side windows, so we'll go with that for now, and we might change it later on. And now for windows, I decided to go with these wide and tall naughty windows from the Seasons pack because I really like how they look. Now, the black trim does kind of clash with the front door, but I mean, it's kind of on the side, so if we have some money left over, I might try to find a better door for there, but I do like how these windows look, especially with the roof. It kind of brings the darker colors back down. Okay, so now we get on to the inside of the house. And the first thing I want to do is add some lights, just so that I can actually see what I'm doing. If I have some money left over, I will try to change them out with something that fits whatever theme we go with. But for now, This just helps me see what I'm doing. As for the color scheme of the house, now we know that our girl is kind of a goth girly, kind of a girly. Like she's a little bit of everything, just like me. So I thought for the inside we could go with kind of a simple paint. Maybe she just graduated college and is kind of trying to still figure out her style. I think what we might do is paint the bedroom like a really pretty pink. Maybe this like dusty pink color. For the kitchen and the living room, I really like a green, like this. It's not quite mint, but it's kind of mint. And I thought maybe we could do like a black and white color scheme for the bathroom. It's giving a little bit more interest, especially since we probably won't be able to afford a lot of rugs for this house. And now for flooring, I thought we could go with a lighter color. And I was looking at using this For Rent kind of very light brown wood. I think it goes kind of nicely with the pastel color and with the pink, so that kind of works out. And I just realized I forgot to add doors. Yeah, I think we can make these doors work. I don't super love the way that the different white swatches in the game look so different in the same kind of lighting. We gotta remember we are still on a budget and we can always change things out later on. Now these are a little bit pricey, but I do like the color on them. So I think we'll try to make those work, and if we run into issues, then we will deal with those as we come upon them. Now, just to make sure that we can even have all the appliances we need, I'm just gonna go with the cheapest appliances, which is a total fire hazard, but again, we're on a budget, so kind of out of luck here. Why are the sinks so expensive? Oh, and because we have the cheapest stuff, we might as well put in a fire alarm, because surely some fires are gonna start. And I'm gonna add, this might be an unnecessary expense, it's not like there's anything worth stealing here, but we'll add that anyway. And I think we'll go with this trash can. I do really want this trash can because you get a little bit of money back every time you like throw something away, but it's also 1,200 simoleons, and we only have 13,000 left to furnish this place. So we'll go with one of the cheaper trash cans for now and see where we're at later on. For the living room, I thought we could add a nice big fireplace to add some interest to the place. I think the base color actually is probably perfectly fine for this build, and we'll just try to figure out what to do from here. I don't think we're going to be able to afford a TV, so for now let's just try to find some pretty cheap but still kind of cute couches. Let's see what fits in our green color scheme. I mean, that's not terrible, but it's also kind of ugly. I decided to add these horse ranch couches because it kind of matches the green in these walls, and although it doesn't perfectly match our sim style, like I kind of mentioned earlier, I like the idea of her just kind of getting started out, and maybe this is furniture that her parents had and you know, were probably going to throw out, so they were like, do you want it? I feel like that happens sometimes. And I think we're gonna stick with the horse ranch theme for the living room. Like I said, maybe her parents are gifting her some old stuff, and her parents are horse girlies, I guess. So even though we can't get a TV in here right now, I think this would be kind of a fine setup for a living room, maybe a little bit cramped, but we can make it work. And for the dining room, I think we could go with this. I like that it kind of brings the brown and the white and the green all kind of together, and these chairs are pretty cheap, which is definitely a bonus. I think we'll go with another horse ranch rug for under the table. This table is a little bit big, but that's probably fine. Let's get to the bathroom, and I really like this sink because it has this gorgeous black and white like swatch. Let's add a simple shower right there and a toilet right next to it. I decided that the bathroom was a little bit too big. I thought 4x3 was just kind of too much for what we have. So what I ended up doing is shrinking this down by 1, and I also kind of went back and altered the roofline a little bit. It kind of echoes some of the stuff going on like over here, although that is such a funky base game build. I don't know why on earth they do things like that, but I kind of like that this adds just a smidge more visual interest to the side of the house, so we'll go with that. And it makes the living room and kitchen just a little bit less boxy and gives me a corner to put a plant, which is wonderful. Hey, this is Editing Gabby from the next day with a fresh haircut. I just wanted to show you guys really quickly, because it was driving me up a wall while I was editing. I ended up going back and fixing the tile border in the bathroom. You can tell how often I use the tile borders because it was messed up for an entire like 2 hours while I'm playing the game. I literally did not notice it until I had started editing. So there you go. I promise I fixed it. Back to original video Gabby. You're still going to see the messed up tiles for the rest of the video, but I promise I did go back and fix it just much later on. Bye! I might move this door over here a little bit so that basically the dining chairs aren't, you know, if this were real life, constantly knocking against the door or something, or blocking her way out. And we still have 10,000 simoleons to finish out the bedroom, and then we can start decorating. Ooh. Just a second, I remembered that mirrors exist. Something that always bothers me is how low the some of the mirrors are, because they just look so weird over some of the sinks, but I like how that one looks, so we'll go with that. Finally, onto the bedroom. Now, I think she's going to want kind of a pink color scheme, but we gotta remember we're still on a budget, so ooh, I like that. I'm gonna scoot this out so that hopefully when we add in some curtains that it's not going to completely clip with the bed. It does look a little bit funky being so far out, but once we add some curtains, it's hopefully going to look like it makes a little bit of sense. Something we can do is add a computer and a desk. I never noticed that that has like a little bit of a flower thing going on. Oh, most of the swatches are different. Oh, I think I'm gonna go with that color scheme, because if it were me, I would absolutely buy that desk. I feel like she's just turning into a mini-me. She just has like the things that I want or have. That might be a little bit too pink. Ooh, I never noticed there's a gradient on this one. Kind of matches what's going on with the desk, which I guess makes sense. They're from the same high school years pack. I don't know how I feel about it though. So we might come back to that later on. And let's give her some nightstands. I was thinking we could probably stick with the high school years pack, and those are pretty inexpensive, which is very nice. Oh, and a mirror. Although we're sticking with a high school years theme, that mirror is, to be honest, it might be someone's favorite. It's frankly not mine. Even these other colors, I mean, it's a vibe, it's a very specific vibe, and it's not a vibe that I'm going for. That actually kind of matches the one that's in my room, except it's just like a full arch. And can we go with a little bit of a different color? Yeah, we'll go with black because it kind of matches the legs on the desk. Speaking of desk, I forgot a desk chair. And I was thinking about using this cow print one. For curtains, I thought we could go with these Modern Luxe curtains because they come in a nice pink swatch. Although I may end up changing the color of the walls because I think this ends up matching a little bit too much. Is there a lighter? Why is the lighting on this middle one so weird? I don't know. So I ended up going with a slightly different vibe for the bedroom because I ended up not really liking the pink curtains with the pink walls, so we changed it over to a nice like almost lavender color, and we got a rug to match, and I think that is the bedroom just about done minus decorations. We will try to decorate with whatever we have left, but money is getting kind of tight now, so we'll see. And going back to the living room, I wanted to add a nice, if I can find a nice like big bookcase, that would be really nice. I like this one a lot because it already has a bunch of cluttered looking things on here, so I don't have to add a whole ton to decorate it with, which is good because we are running real low on funds. So for now, that should work. And I think I would like to add an art easel because our girl is gonna be an artiste even. I thought we could add a chess table because in addition to a creativity skill, we should probably have an outlet for like building her mental skills. And this is going to be good because I don't know about anyone else, but I always deal with my Sims constantly getting burnout, and it drives me up a wall. So I think I'm just going to steal one of the dining chairs. This is totally something I would do. Like, I'm not buying a new chair, I'll just take one of the ones I already have. What happened to my front door? That keeps happening. It happens more often with windows than doors, but that is such a weird like glitch. Ooh, do I want to make the front door black? That does add a little bit of drama. Ooh. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. It's kind of funky from the inside, but you know what? Again, we'll make it work. What was I saying? I keep getting distracted. Now we're at the point of the build where we're kind of down to our last bit of money, but since we already have pretty much everything she's going to need to function, I will add an outdoor trash can and a better mailbox later on, but we can probably start decorating. The kitchen appliances are low-key kind of bugging me, so I'm going to see if I can maybe get some nicer ones, which is going to eat up some of our budget, but they will also maybe look a little nicer and be less liable to catch fire. I think we're gonna go with these, this fridge and this stove. This stove is a fair bit more expensive, a little over twice as expensive as the previous stove, and this fridge I think is about 3 or 4 times as expensive as the other one, but I do like that, again, you know, adding some more visual interest. This fridge does come with some swatches that have some nice, you know, stickers and things on it to make it look like it's actually being used. Because, like, every time I go somewhere, I try to buy, like, a little magnet to try to remember where I've been. And that has added up to a fridge that looks a little bit like a mess. And this microwave is a little bit more expensive than the other one, but honestly, I like how this kitchen looks a lot better with the more expensive appliances, so we will stick with it. We can finally get back to decorating. The first thing I like to do with decorating is to add some plants, because usually even just a couple of plants can make a massive difference to how your entire place looks. Okay, and now I have pretty much finished decorating, at least for now. It's not perfect, but I tried to get a good variety of things hanging on the walls, some clutter, some plants, just a little bit of stuff to make it feel like someone actually lives here. The bathroom, I couldn't really fit anything, and we've kind of run out of budget, so at this point I think this house is as good as we can get. So we have the kind of horse ranch themed living room, and then we move over to the still kind of horse ranch but also kind of classic suburban kitchen, and we get into the kind of black and white, very bold bathroom, and finally the kind of pink, purple, and blue color scheme for the bedroom. And I really love this, and honestly this is kind of a house that I would live in. So I am very pleased with how that turned out. And with our final 6 simoleons, we can't really do a whole ton of landscaping, at least not without some cheats. I think we are going to go over and use some debug plants so that we can kind of fill out the space. And oh my goodness, because the weather is cold, all of the plants are gonna look dead. Oh my gosh. I've been building for like at least an hour and I did not notice that all of the plants around here are dead. Oh, okay. 1 second. I will fix that. Okay, so what I ended up doing was going into MC Command Center. I don't have a whole lot of mods, but that is one that I find super necessary. And I just kind of quickly changed the season over to summer so that we can actually see what plants we're putting down, which is good because we're just gonna have to go with debug. And because these are debugged, that does mean that our sims are gonna be able to basically walk through the plants, but that's kind of not a problem as long as we can fill it out so that it looks like it actually belongs in the rest of this neighborhood. I think that will work for now. Just kind of fill out this space. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of a curving walkway here with some terrain tools. And I like to add a little bit of dirt around the trees, even though these are going to be debug trees. So like I said earlier, the Sims are gonna pretty much just walk straight through them, but it looks kind of like you added a little bit of mulch around them. And so we're gonna go with a little bit of a path like this, and I'm trying to leave a little bit of space for that dirt to kind of look like, you know, it's been like trampled on, you know what I mean? Like the edge of walkways isn't always perfect. Boom. The house is now landscaped. I used a whole lot of debug landscaping, and honestly, I probably could have done a better job. I was trying to get a little bit of a variety. We got some yellow, the yellow flowers for the ground cover, and some kind of pink for a little bit of a medium height, and then some hedges to just kind of line the edge of the house. And then I tried to add in a little bit more shape variety with some more rounded leafed plants, but honestly it's kind of as good as I'm going to get for the moment because I've been recording for like 2 hours at this point. I'm gonna have to cut the vast majority of this because a whole lot of time was spent just messing with the ivy and trying to get the terrain perfect. It's you know, it's as good as I can get it for now. Just to give a little bit of a final tour, we have our green suburban. I feel like it kind of sits well with the rest of the houses. I feel like the roof might be a little bit too dark, but I like the color scheme we got going on here, so I'm not going to change it. And to give a little bit of a tour, we have, as we kind of set up before, was a decent sized living room with a couple of activities, some creativity, and some mental skills. We have a nice big bookshelf so we can get some skill books and hopefully build more skills from there despite our limited space. We have a nice sized kitchen and dining area and a like bold black and white themed bathroom and our cutesy girly kind of bedroom slash office. Okay, and that's the starter home, so I think we can save from here, and we can come back next time to get our legacy challenge started and figure out what Quinn is going to be doing with her life. I haven't quite decided what storyline I want for her yet, but we will figure it out. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!